Yeah, I'll fix that. There we go. Good enough. What's up, everyone? I got Batman on my shoulders. Woo! Batman! How's it going? I'm Cecil Laird. Welcome to the Horror Show. And today is New Comic Book Day. And even though a large DC Comics event began today, November 22nd, with Doomsday Clock, which is the not really asked for, and you can't really say long awaited, but it is the first crossover between the proper DC Universe superheroes and the Watchmen universe. However, that is being released right smack dab in the middle of another huge DC event that is going on right now that is very Batman focused. And why am I reviewing it on the Horror Show? Because it could very well be considered a horror storyline within the DC Universe. So let me just get into it. I'm going to be talking about the first half of Dark Knight's Metal, which is essentially these three books right here. So yes, it is a... I can see myself... It is a big DC event, so you can see the whole Justice League is involved. And then, yeah, some cool stuff in this issue. And then this is the big bad Barbatos, who is the big bat creature that has been apparently watching for a long time as a result of a storyline that Grant Morrison did in the DC Universe not so very long ago. So, the roots of Dark Knights, which is written by Scott Snyder and drawn by Greg Capullo, who basically just recently completed their huge Batman New 52 run, which did so much cool stuff, including a lot of interesting Joker stuff. But the book was amazing while they were on it, and then they took a break from it, and Scott Snyder was doing All-Star Batman, and Greg Capullo was doing some other stuff. But now they've reteamed once again to do this massive event, which has roots all the way back in Grant Morrison's Batman run, when Batman died, and essentially when Darkseid's Omega beams transported him all the way back in time to the Stone Age. Apparently, when that happened, this huge universal or anti-universal demon called Barbatos, Bat Demon, took notice and essentially watched Bruce Wayne all the way back to the present as he made his way back in that storyline, and has since revealed himself to be someone able to get the this group of baddies for this or this big event, rather. So the conceit of this event, the long and short of it is, what if not only there is the 52 different universes within the current DC multiverse. Just take my word for it. There's 52 different universes, or realities, as it were, that exist in different dimensions, but concurrently with each other. 52 different iterations of Earth, 52 different iterations of you and me, that have spun off and done different things. And so that's been the conceit of the New 52 for a while, is that there is a new multiverse and 52 different Earths. Now, the conceit of Metal is that not only are there those 52 worlds, but there's apparently, at one point in the first issue, Kendra Saunders, who is working for the Blackhawks organization, which is a military organization in the DC Comics universe right now, but she is an ex-Hawkwoman, and apparently this series is rooted a bit in the Hawkman lore as well. We're going to find out how in a later tie-in issue, which has not come out yet as of this recording. But, yeah, so there's all this stuff going on in this storyline just leading up to the thing proper. I mean, it had two prequels, which were Dark Days the Forge and Dark Days the Casting. And in it, you start to see some stuff happen. You start to see the bones of this crossover take place, and especially the casting I liked, because you see Green Lantern and God, I'm going to blank his name now because I haven't been reading him for that long, but he is a part of the Bat family now. Duke is his name. He's part of the Bat family, and Joker is involved in this because Batman has apparently been keeping Joker captive in the Bat Cave in a cell, and in this one, Duke and Green Lantern unwittingly release Joker, and the Joker goes to destroy this massive machine that Batman's built, and Duke and Green Lantern stop him, and it's such a great issue because Joker's like, you guys don't even realize that I'm being the good guy right now. If he's allowed to do this, we're all going to go down, you know, and stuff like that. So it's very cryptic, but very interesting. And then you find out the lore in this is that apparently there are 5 different metals that have been sort of secretly driving the DC universe, including, you know, metals that help create the meta gene that, you know, metal, it's all related in the DC universe because every superhero in the DC universe has been considered a metahuman. But apparently there's a little bit more to it. They are metal humans because all of these superheroes in the DC universe, Batman has discovered, have been laced with this sort of incomprehensible metal. And I believe, if I'm not, I might be misreading it very lightly, you know, slightly, because some of this stuff is a little cryptic for me when I read it through the first and even the second time, because I just don't read as deeply as perhaps I should. But it is revealed that there are these 5 different metals, and there's a prophecy of sorts which says that this horrifying darkness is going to come if one person is treated with the 5 different metals of the universe. And what's revealed is that apparently there is a person that has been treated with the 5 different metals, and that person is Batman. And the treating of the 5 different metals has been happening ever since Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo launched the first Batman New 52 book with the Court of Owls and all of that. So it ties all the way back into that, and different points along the Batman line since the beginning of the New 52 has had him treated with these different metals without us even realizing it. And it's such masterful writing. And then finally, in the second issue, I'm going to get closer because I don't want it to just be my ceiling. But anyway, in the second issue, you find out at the very end that it is Batman, and he is, in fact, trapped by the cult of this dark group of people that are going to invade. And I'm going to put these up behind me right here because it feels like it's as good a spot as any. Anyway, right. Oh, that's not even on camera. All right, so we'll put this here. There you go, so you guys can look at that over my shoulder. Or not. Hey, Batman. Soupies, hold this for me. Not backwards, preferably. There you go. That's good. Okay, so at the end of this issue, the bad guys have basically tricked Batman into their sort of lair, where the Court of Owls reveals that they've been sort of a part of this as well, so they're brought back. And then they reveal that they've just treated Batman as they've discovered him. All of these metal spikes shoot through him, and but in non-vital places, and that is the 5th metal being injected into him. And he basically starts to fade away while Superman and Diana watch on, incapable of helping because they've been subdued. And as Batman disappears, a portal opens, and all of these dark Batmen from dying universes in the dark multiverse come through. And it's this amazing splash page on the at the end of the book, which I'll show you here. I can pull it down, even though I just finally got it where I wanted it. it shows that the universe is basically screwed because all the dark Batmen have arrived. And you can see what's awesome is each Batman sort of represents a different Justice League member. So it's pretty darn cool, and that's Barbatos at the very back, the huge guy. But yeah, you can see there's an Aquabat, a Doomsday Batman, a cyborg-esque Machine Batman, a Joker Batman that has these Robin creatures on chains, a sort of Ares-esque Batman, so that fits into the Wonder Woman slot, a Flash Batman, and a Green Lantern Batman, and then Barbatos. So that is the Batmen that are invading the DC Universe. And so basically the first half of this event was Dark Knight's Metal 1, 2, and 3, and then the 2 prequels before that. And then after that, let me put these up here. Hang on. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. So we got that one there, and then I'll put this one here. There we go. All right, cool. So, besides that, you ended up having 2 different 4-issue crossovers so far that are complete crossovers within this world. The first one is Gotham Resistance, and that was Teen Titans number 12, and then Nightwing number, what is that? 26, Suicide Squad 20, Nightwing 29, Suicide Squad 26, and Green Arrow 32. So basically, this is the Teen Titans, Nightwing, the Suicide Squad, and Green Arrow going up against a bunch of these different Batmen. And it's a pretty cool little 4-issue thing. This is where a lot of the stuff that you don't see in the main issues happens. And you find out a little bit more of their motives, and there's this really crazy lead, horrifying Robin that's up against the bad guys. And this particular issue is drawn by the guy that did a horror series that I love so much, which I'm going to space on, but we have done a review of it, Dirk and I, on the channel. Oh man, it's Colder. The artist did Colder, and this is a really great continuation of that sort of style. But anyway, this was really cool because by the end of it, they sort of discover how they might be able to kill some of these horrifying creatures from the dark multiverse. And then the next one was Bats Out of Hell, which is the Flash, Justice League, Green Lantern, and Justice League again, but it's essentially Cyborg versus the Murder Machine Batman, Green Lantern versus the Green Lantern Batman, Wonder Woman versus the Ares Batman, and Aquaman versus the drowned Aqua Batman, and then the Flash versus the Red Menace Batman, or Red Death Batman, I should say. So that is pretty cool because that escalates. Essentially, in this one, one of the team members is stolen for bad guys' purposes and treated very, very poorly. And in this one, it's them retrieving that member. And it's really cool. Again, you get more of the evil Batmen. But the biggest crux of the storyline, which has been the coolest thing for me, is these right here. And this is an individual one-shot based on every single one of the evil Batmen that invade our world. Except for this, which is a tale of what's happening to Batman in the dark multiverse, where you find out he got traded to the dark multiverse in order to let the evil Batmen through. And even though that huge demonic bat creature, Barbatos, right there, even though he is sort of the orchestrator of it, this one right here, the Batman Who Laughs, he is the leader of the evil Batman. And so he carries on throughout the whole issues, even the mini-series that I just showed you, the 2 4-issue crossover books. He is the main orchestrator. But just real quick to tell you what these are about, Batman, the Red Death. So what these essentially are, if any of you guys know, if you're a Marvel fan, they're What If books. If you're a DC fan, they're Elseworlds. It's a huge return to form because every single one of these is a different Earth in which Batman turned bad but along the lines of each Justice League member. So I'm going to give you the quick overview of each one. So Batman, the Red Death is, Batman is tired of not being able to complete his quest on crime, and so the only way he can think to actually do it is to be as fast as the Flash. And so what he does is he captures the Flash against his will, straps him to the Batmobile, and speeds him off at incredible speeds in order to try and harness the Speed Force and steal it from Barry Allen. And he does so successfully and becomes a horrifying Flash Batman in the process. That is an awesome book. It's drawn, each of these is done by the creative team that handles the books normally. So this is done by the creative team that's handling it. Josh Williamson, who actually was the creator on Nailbiter, which I've talked about on the show before because that's a straight horror slasher comic book. And then the artist here, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that one. Anyway, that is a really, really good book. The next one is Batman the Murder Machine. And that cover is really cool. Nothing quite that cool happens in the book. However, this Batman here is essentially the cyborg analog for the Justice League. In this Batman's universe, he loses his Alfred, and so he creates this VR version of Alfred that ends up going crazy trying to protect Bruce and ends up killing all the villains in Gotham. And so in order to stop Alfred, Batman sort of has to go to digitization and becomes this machine-like version of Batman, and it's really cool. It's just so unique, but it's really enjoyable, even though it doesn't quite live up to that cover. The next one is Batman the Dawnbreaker. This one was really freaking cool, too. I'm not sure how much of it I want to spoil, but in this one, this is a what if where what if everything happened with Bruce Wayne except right after his parents gets killed, he is so willful to destroy the man that killed his parents. He actually he's so willful to destroy him that he's not afraid of him at all. And then a Green Lantern ring pops out of the out of the sky and says, "Bruce Wayne, you have the ability to overcome great fear. You are now a part of the Green Lantern Corps." And he quickly goes and captures the guy and tries to kill him, but the ring won't let him. And so he keeps trying. I should grab a ring for this. So he keeps trying. Here we go. So he keeps trying. I can't even get it on that ring. It's too small of a ring. He keeps trying, and he keeps trying to kill the man that killed his parents, but he can't. So the ring keeps stopping him, and he essentially, his willpower is so strong that he overrides the ring's failsafes, and it draws on the darkness. Like, he becomes enveloped in darkness, and so the ring itself, like the little Green Lantern symbols that usually indicate, I'll show you, that usually indicate the Green Lantern talking to him, or the ring talking to him, they become dark and green at the same time. And he tries to even raise his parents after taking care of the bad guy. And it's really, really cool stuff, but eventually he becomes the Dawnbreaker. And he does all this horrifying stuff as Batman, but it's drawn by Ethan Van Sciver, who did Green Lantern Reborn, if you're a fan of that. So this was an amazing book. Next up was Batman the Drowned. And this was I guess I'm going to have to speed through these. I don't want to take forever, but this one is the Aquaman-themed book, where Batman, in this one, Atlantis keeps trying to... It's first off, it takes place on a gender-bent Earth, where everyone has switched genders. So Batman is Batgirl, or Batwoman, and Aquaman is actually a female as well. And so, but in this Earth, Atlantis keeps invading Earth, and so in order to stop the foremost threat to his, not only his city, but the planet, or her city and the planet, is Batgirl surgically, like technologically and surgically, implants gills and makes it so she can fight Atlanteans in their own world. And she ends up beating them and like becoming this crazy version. And the thing to note is that all of this takes place on the dark multiverse, the 52 under Earths, which all of which, because it's such an unstable part of the universe as a whole, it's not meant to exist, every one of these Earths gets destroyed essentially by the end of these issues. So they're all failed Earths, which is why Barbatos is able to recruit them to come to our world, because our world is surviving. So it's really, really cool. The next one up is Batman the Devastator. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is the one that's been the hardest for me to get a hold of. I know it has to do with Ares, I know it's the Wonder Woman crossover, but I've tried to read it now 2.5 times, and I made it all the way through the second time, but I still can't tell you exactly what happens. It's cool, the covers are actually looking like it's lightning striking. These are all first prints. Everything I got is a first print, so I'm just that crazy. But yeah, so this one is a bit lackluster, although it's written by Pete Tomasi, who is one of my favorite creators on the Bat books right now. And the artwork is done by Francis Manapul, who has done Flash in the past, and he's got this amazing sort of widescreen feel to it. So the artwork is great, the story didn't resonate as much as the other ones for me. The next one is one of my absolute favorites, Batman the Devastator. And this is in an Earth where Superman has gone completely insane, has started murdering everyone on the planet, beginning with Lois Lane and those closest to him. And then he finally tracks down Batman and is having this fight where Batman's trying to hold his own, but it's awesome because they have this back and forth where Superman's like, whenever people always wonder who would win in a fight, I always laugh inside because it's no contest. I could cut you in half with my heat vision at any time I wanted to. And Batman's like, well, why haven't you? And Superman's like, I think it's about that time. But Batman injects himself with the Doomsday virus, which turns him into this. He's like, the only thing I could think of to defeat you, Clark, is to become this. And so he becomes Bat Doomsday and takes out Superman just before his Earth gets destroyed, after Clark has already killed everyone else, essentially, and then he gets transported to our world to take part in this Dark Knight's Metal crossover. The Batman Lost book, this is basically the one-shot, the double-sized one-shot that came out that's not about one of the evil Batmen, but it's actually about what happened to Bruce after he disappeared in Metal number 3, or 2, rather. So it tells what he's going through in the dark multiverse. So that's a really cool issue in itself. And then finally, the last one, which I alluded to earlier, is The Batman Who Laughs. And this one is really cool. This is about a world where Batman finally had enough, and he finally kills the Joker. And when he does, the Joker releases a toxin only enough to kill one person in his immediate vicinity, always assuming it would be Batman, finally having driven him over the edge. And Batman then slowly becomes the Joker. And by the time, it's awesome, there's this scene where he gathers his whole Bat family, and he tells them, look, a week ago this happened, and I've been feeling myself going ever since, losing more and more. and that's why I called you here. And they're like, well, Bruce, we're here to help you. And he's like, no, you don't understand. You're the only ones that would be able to stop me. And then he takes them all out and becomes this Bat Joker with all of these horrible Robin zombies. He destroys his whole Bat family, man, and becomes the leader of the evil Batmen. So that is Dark Knight's Metal, you guys. The first half of it, and it is so awesome. And even though I explained to you the origins of the evil Batman, you still want to get your hands on these issues and read them, because I'm not doing them justice. I'm just whetting your appetite just enough to want to get your hands on it. So that's going to do it, you guys. I don't want to go any further than that, but I did go pretty far. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you go and seek out Dark Knight's Metal. And again, Doomsday Clock came out today too, so while you're there, pick up the first issue of Doomsday Clock if you want to see the DC Universe proper crossover with the Watchmen. I will be coming back to do the second half of Metal, rest assured. Again, this is clearly a horror book. Evil Batmen whose worlds have been destroyed are here to destroy our world and hold our heroes accountable. It's really, really cool. So make sure you check it out if you haven't. But thanks very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird. Leave in the comments down below if you're going to check this out, or if you have checked it out, what do you think of it? But until next time, remember, stay scared. And it's not as effective when I have to lower it to say goodbye.